our questions for the panel, and I will start. We'll just do a 5-minute round, please. Mr. Jaffer, as you testified, the Salt Typhoon hacks proved that China obtained wide-scale access to our telecommunications network, and based on the publicly available information, what distinguishes Salt Typhoon from prior nation-state operations targeting U.S. telecom networks?
Thank you, Chairman Fischer. I think the most distinctive thing about Salt Typhoon is the breadth and the depth of the access the Chinese government obtained to America's telecommunications infrastructure. Now, again, only based on what we know publicly, it's clear that they were able to go after 9 telecommunications providers. It appears that they actually obtained access to either our law enforcement or potentially our foreign intelligence surveillance systems at some level, whether it was the collection or the task targets or what, we don't know the details. But if you think about what that means, that depth of access and that sustained access to that sensitive information is massively damaging, not just to our communications capabilities, but to our national security. And so this is the real challenge, is the depth and breadth of the access they obtained.
How difficult is it to be able to detect that? And what does that tell us about the current existing capabilities that we have to monitor?
Well, look, we obviously were able to eventually find them, but it took us too long. We now have assessed that they were in those systems, or were targeting those systems since at least 2021, or were at least going after them. Now, we don't know when they got in. The other real problem is that once they got in, they're burrowed so deep, we're not sure whether we can or have gotten them all out completely. They may still very well be in our systems. At least one provider suggested they've successfully removed the actors they know about. The question is, how deep are those actors in our systems, and how sustained is their access? So we weren't able to detect them when they came in. Could we have? Possible. Certainly we had plenty of warning that they were coming after our systems. And the government, this is what's crazy to me, the government actually now has admitted that it identified them in different systems. It didn't realize they were the Salt Typhoon hackers. But now, having connected them to these hackers, they now realize they actually saw them.
Is it easier now to be able to detect from lessons learned?
Well, look, certainly every day that goes by, we learn more about the adversary, we learn more about our capabilities, we develop new capabilities. The advent of AI, while it provides a significant benefit to the offense, also provides a significant benefit to defenders as well. We should be deploying that at scale. The real challenge today, though, remains that we remain in a situation of sort of blaming the victim, right? In this case, we're saying, look, it's the telecom companies, they didn't do their part, they didn't update their systems, and there may be serious problems there and things that need to be addressed. But beyond that, the question is, what did the government know about the attacks? Why did it identify the attackers in different systems and not take action to find them everywhere else they were, having found them once? And why didn't it share that information effectively with the private sector rapidly? I mean, this is the kind of thing, this is like the CIA identifying Khalid Mihdhar and Nawaf al-Hazmi in Kuala Lumpur and not telling the FBI that they had visas to come to California, to come to the United States.
You know, I mentioned the FACT Act and the bill that I passed here in the Senate. How concerned should we be about China in our hardware?
Well, look, there's no question that we need...
In core networks, briefly.
There's no question that we need to go after the Chinese in this space. They are absolutely targeting those core networks. They have spent a lot of time trying to get into our hardware and infiltrate our supply chains. I think the FACT Act is a great piece of legislation. We need to get it enacted as soon as possible, but we need to go even further. We really have got to get aggressive about identifying the fact that China's infiltrate our infrastructure, not just through hardware itself, but through the chips as well, right? China has a huge supply of large format chips. They're trying to get advanced chips as well. They're on the path to it. They're not going to get EUV for a while, but they are going to use advanced EUV, and that's a problem.
You know, Mr. Mayor, as we're looking here in Congress to be able to remove a lot of that risky telecom gear from our networks currently, what policies do you think we need to prioritize with regard to supporting manufacturing of our domestic or our trusted ally equipment here, so we don't run into a lot of the situations that Mr. Jaffer was referring to?
So to set the stage for the responding, the equipment in the telecom ecosystem is massive. It spans many continents. Overly concentrated, frankly, in an area of the world which we know is subject to disruption. Chinese have expressed their interests in terms of what they want to accomplish in that region, and there are a lot of countries that are now moving their supply chain to countries in that region also. So I think from a policy perspective, we have to understand that there's significant technology embedded in our systems. And I think what Congress did with RIP and replace was admirable because it recognized two vendors who we knew were responsible for malicious surveillance and impacting and presented a risk to our military establishments in some areas, but more importantly, an overall risk to our ability to manage and control network security. We are working.
I'm out of time. So
Okay.
briefly, can you do like a 1, 2, 3? What
Yeah,
we need to do with our manufacturing on this?
Right. I think we have to tighten the requirements on vendors to improve cybersecurity. I think the concept of security by design is critical. We have to build it in, not bolt it on afterwards.
Okay.
And I think we need to have a very close relationship with our government intelligence community about what they discover, what's suspicious, and they have to share that with us so we can probe and help them resolve some of the insecurities in that realm. So,
Thank you very much. Thank you. Senator Lujan, you are recognized.
Thank you, Chair Fischer. Ms. Jordan, you were at the FCC